All right, another thing about stepping. Now I talked to you about posture before. I've talked to you about being relaxed and doing the knee, ankle, hip to kind of flow your way forward rather than just moving from the top of you and catching you on the way. But let's bring it back into more of a stance, more of something you can use in SCA or other martial arts. Now, my usual stance is something, once again, that's nice and relaxed. I don't want to have a big tense stance where I have to be working my muscles to keep myself in that position or in that guard or anything like that. I want to be as relaxed as possible because my opponent, they are going to demand a lot of time and a lot of effort on my part. I don't want to be taking up time, power, and effort with just how I stand. So my stance is more or less like this. So from the side, I've got relatively open stance. My front toe is facing towards my opponent, and my back foot is somewhere in between a 45 to a 90-degree angle. Once again, everybody's body is a little bit different, so you can fudge it one way or another. Unless you are doing a specific technique that requires you to put your foot one way or another. But this is just basics. Those kind of techniques are something that you'll figure out much, much later in your training. So, once again, still have more or less my same up and down posture, still have my hips and my shoulders oriented. Now, when I step, I'm going to step using, depending on what direction I'm going, I'm going to step using the foot that's closest to that direction first. So if I'm going to step here, my right foot is there, so I'm going to relax and just flow that direction. Notice keeping my hips under, not out like this, under here. If I need to step that way, then it's my left hip, then it's my left side. So you can go, I reach out, I place, and then bring it in. Just like so. I don't start moving my momentum, because if I start moving my momentum there, I have no choice but to continue with that step. If I'm here, then I have to step there, or I have to fall, effectively. And if you've got an opponent who can see that and read that and see where you're stepping, they'll be ready for you because they know where you're going to be. Working against someone, having an enemy, having an opponent is all going to be a matter of what you let them see. Like if I am going to step this way and I do a big leap, of course they know where I'm going to be. They know where I'm going to be, and they're going to attack that spot. If they attack where you were, you don't have to worry about them too much. They're not a very good fighter. But that's why you want to do the least amount of motion possible there. So if I move forward, that leg comes out first. If I move back, that leg comes out first. There's a difference if it's a slip and someone's going for my leg and I just come on back. That's more of a broadsword move, where if they attack your leg, you just dodge with your leg, you get it out of the way, and you hit them in the head with the sword that's right here. But that also means you're pretty narrow at that point, so you better hit them in the head. But that's a technique for later. So, for the moment, just practice moving around something, especially if you have like a pillar or something in your house, you have a pole, you have a post out back, whatever the case is. But if you've got that right in front of you, move around it, one side and then the other. You can step this direction, or you can go that way, which means this foot first. Once again, I place, then if I still move there, that's fine. But if there's going to be a sword or a stick in that, I don't have to commit. I'm ready to do it, and most of my weight is still on my back foot, but I can shift it in a moment. I can actually move one foot or the other.